been roster changes, and most importantly, there's been a very, very good match for Reciprocity yesterday on this very map. So it's time to see if they have the prowess to take it down once again, and if players like Vertical are going to be able to show up just as dominantly as we saw in map number 1. Hibana's our first ban. He is going to be knocked, or she, excuse me, is going to be knocked out.
Yeah, get those X-Kairos out of here. We don't want you opening up too many hatches. Capitao will follow suit. This has got way too much utility. Don't want him up. Don't want him to be able to counter out Bandit Tricking or anything of the sort. Obviously, there's still ways to do it, but Capitao is, relatively speaking, the easiest way to do that. Reciprocity is going to have their final ban. It's a defensive ban this time around, though. They're going to be removing, after they think about it for a while, Valkyrie.
So Valkyrie is going to be the first defender ban. We should expect this last one to more than likely be a Maestro or Echo. We've had a couple curveballs today, though, so let's see what our last one is. Now, Mira actually going to be banned out once again, as she is found to be too useful here. So once more, this will be another match today where we have both Maestro and Echo left in the pool for play, which will be quite dangerous for the attacking team. Reciprocity is going to have potentially a lot to contend with if TSM decides to utilize both of them.
Well, as we jump into things, TSM already down one map starting this defense as they head downstairs to Church Arsenal Room, a fan favorite of Clubhouse. That's actually where a lot of people tend to start nowadays. It's either there or CCTV. We don't see people start inside of gym bedroom too often, and Flynn's not here, so we're not going to be getting that bar defense that he loves so much.
Not today, more than likely anyway. We're going to be starting out in the basement, though, so we will see quite a bit of action there regardless.
To locate and defuse bombs.
Take a look and see what the opening defense setup is going to be here in basement for TSM. Should be pretty standard, especially when you look at their operator lineup. There's no curveballs here. We are going to see Bolo get back on that visual, though, as you no longer have the target ban from Rec against TSM to get rid of this. So Bolo is now free to go back onto this role, too.
Pretty creative from Reciprocity in that first game to go off the reservation from the regular bans and shift up how the map's going to play just by making TSM more, uncomfortable. So honestly, that might open it up to a lot of other teams to start to do that a little bit more often. Really, the only ban that we see nowadays that comes out to make teams uncomfortable is Thatcher. That's a favorite inside of Latin. We're just not going to use Thatcher. It makes things so easy. We don't want you to have access to that. Well, now that seems to be overflowing into other operators, and I really like how Reciprocity handled that.
So we do have Reciprocity spawned out and onto the field, ready to rock and roll at this point. So it's time to see how they're going to approach this. Again, we should expect quite a bit of delay on any actual action going on here. We do have a bit of roaming presence from TSM, so Rec is going to have to spend a bit of time clearing that out. Right now, it's in the second floor, close to the gym bedroom sites. So we'll have to try and knock those guys out first. You can even see a little bit of that skirmish starting out here now, as Vertical gets himself into a bit of a small fight, but I think it's just actually to take down the softball here so he gets clean vision into the inside of Bar.
Well, plenty of time for TSM still to waste. Only 50 seconds in here now. Merc's already got a little bit of damage done to him. TSM on roam, but what else would you expect? Didn't show too much face on Bank. Feeling a little bit different this time around. Probably want to try and warm things up, but Fox, they're going to put them right back in their places. Reciprocity is now being the methodical team, inching forward and gaining land as they go. Achieved, already off the board. Once again, Merc a little bit of damage dealt to him, but he's going to get droned out on the main stairs.
First floor.
Nyx slowly creeping down these steps with the drone assisting him. TSM should be ready for this at this point, and it seems they are. They don't take the fight, TSM backs away. They can't risk losing another player this early on in the round. Merc will get the better, however, of Foxe as he finds him way up on top. Retro is going to be there to trade him out from just outside of the main stairs before he can get away to his teammate, though. So we are going to stay with a Reciprocity advantage at 4v3.
Well, the beauty of Clubhouse is you really only need 3 people to hold down the site, and they got Fox killed pretty early on, so don't have to worry about too many open hatches, but you're definitely going to have to worry about that one. Geo definitely should not have been inside a Moto with a soft hatch above you, man. Gonna get ripped real quick from Nyx, and all of a sudden we're down into the 2 versus 4. Bolo and Timsy. Timsy, the only man that has any denial utility left, still has 2 toxic babes worrying about Moto right now. Bolo deep inside of the armory area.
They're just trying to stop the Moto push in its entirety, so there's the second gas grenade, I believe, working its way out. Timsy should have one more to delay the push. It's not going to be enough time-wise, though. All it's really going to do is stress Reciprocity. Even so, look at this. They're just going to pop open the church wall and work their way in from stair side. Timsy, though, gets aggressive on that. Is able to find Laxing, but there's a trade from Retro a second later. Everything's on Bolo now, but we know he can get these types of plays done. The plant going down, not nearly early enough in the round here for Bolo to try and risk his life and just stop it. He'll move forward, still will find Nyx, nearly lines up a headshot into his second player, but is unable to complete that kill so quickly. Linen, though, wraps over towards those main steps. Can't safely push up towards Moto just yet, trying to be avoided by any preset drones. He's going to creep in here. He's got to check his right side, though, on the push, but no! Vertical's ready to take the fight. He shuts it down, and Reciprocity get the first round.
What a fantastic round from Reciprocity. Coming back from the depths there, it looked pretty bleak, but they spill onto site in exciting fashion. Take down Timsy, take over Church, get the diffuser down, and then all I have to do is play for the post plant. Played pretty dang well as well. Just fell back into Moto, set up both angles so they could watch all the doors. Overall, a great take from Reciprocity. And a good roam clear as well. They forced everybody back downstairs, and while everyone was going for those rotations, made a couple of picks along the way.
TSM clearly having an idea as to what mistakes might have been made in the first round, does go right for the repick onto basement instead of doing what some teams have been doing more recently, which is being a bit more liberal with the site swap, abandoning, not being afraid to abandon one and go towards cache CCTV or even gym bedroom if cache and CCTV don't work out too well here. But TSM is going to be a bit more hard-headed on it, at least for the time being.
From being defused by attackers.
Well, downstairs defense once again. Bolo still rocking the Vigil. Relatively the same setup, actually the exact same setup for TSM. So hopefully she doesn't get picked too early on here, as he will be on the Jaeger. Offense still bringing the two hard destructors, the last two that remain after the Habana ban. Last time Foxy got picked pretty early on before he could do anything with the hashes, and it is going to be an extended roam, as you guys can see at the bottom of your screen. Merc is currently all the way upstairs at the jacuzzi wall, reinforcing, as well as putting bandit batteries on those, so they have to rotate the Thatcher with their hard destruction in order to get the wall open, unless they want Foxy to make a hole with his torch.
So in just a second here, we have the attackers coming onto the field once again. Reciprocity will now make their second attempt to shut down a round on the very same site in basement. Same as that previous round, we've got roaming presence from TSM set up pretty well established, mainly towards cache and CCTV areas this time. But I believe they had it closer towards gym in the last round, although they may have shifted it later on, given the fact that Reciprocity decided to go into that side towards the strip club and bar and cleared out the roaming presence pretty quickly. It's going to be Vert that starts us off again as he pushes in towards Garage. Looks like he got a fight against Achieved inside of the site window. Managed to find his first pick from here.
Vert and the rest of the squad take control of CCTV as the roam clear is going pretty well already. Achieved dies, and well, Reciprocity's got most of the control that they need to get these hatches open now, and a minute hasn't even been expended, so they're definitely on time. Always have to worry about that timer when you're on the offense. So my Merc from downrange with a reflex. Don't need an ACOG to see how crazy that was.
Got Nyx slowly creeping down main stairs once again. Same thing that we saw him take the role of in the previous round here. Laxing will probably be with him relatively soon. He does have to self-drone, it looks like, for the time being, so not going to be the most time-efficient way in order to get down these steps, but at the same time, that geometrics position is going to be very important to realize that it's there, as if not, Nyx may have found himself a dead man just a few seconds ago. Now Geo is going to find himself in the awkward spot again. He knows he's been spotted, but he also knows he can't safely fall back at this point in time. He is locked in. He has to try and go for the 1-for-1, or even better, maybe the free one. Oh, goes back into kitchen for the second, though, and that's going to be where he'll meet his fate finally. Vert finds the trade back, and we go into another even situation.
That's the Geo that everyone expects to play. What a shot onto Nyx. Vert working his way down main now. Already been traded out, so we're at an equal 3-3. Still plenty of time on the board, but they need to start focusing on site. They need these rotates to come through for Reciprocity. Are they going to go for the same attack? Are they going to go for the church wall into church to get this diffuser down, while also taking control of Timsy's location with Merc? But this time, that's the difference maker. Merc is still alive. He still has bandit batteries, and he can still bandit trick. They do still have Laxing, but bandit tricking through EMPs is not as difficult as it sounds.
40 seconds remaining, so Rec is going to start to pinch themselves for time here as we get towards the very bitter end of the round. That's the second time today we've had a kill stolen from that top area, right above the big blue generator. Reciprocity now get the man advantage off of that. They do see those little flares on the edge of their screen, which means that the Vigil is somewhere nearby. Where exactly, they don't know just yet. They're going to have to find that out. There they go. He's found first this time, and now everything falls to the fill-in Timsy in a 1v3 situation. He's going to try to go for the flank through Moto. Pops up one of the smoke charges. Looks like he might try to rapid flank back around now, but he's only boxed himself out. The plant goes down onto the ground, and he can now no longer win this on timer. There we go. He's taken out by Laxing. Reciprocity claim their second basement attack.
Well, 1v3 doesn't work out for TSM. Reciprocity, another fantastic take towards the basement. And this is what we were talking about. Reciprocity, so good on this offensive play for Clubhouse. Just very methodical play. Work the drones in, get rid of the roam game. We don't have that too often on this map either, but they're even doing a good job with clearing that. 2 early kills onto Achieved, and he's been the front runner through multiple maps for TSM, so taking him out early has had such an impact on the outcome of these rounds.
It's looking like we got to pause here real quick, so give us a sec, guys, to figure out what's going on. From the looks of things, I would say attack pause based on those hand gestures from TSM's coach. Looks like he's got a few things to say here, and that does appear to be the case. So TSM calling a late timeout in this round to try and figure out what exactly is going on. It's pretty early on, to be fair, but I think it's a good call.
It's absolutely a good call. It's do or die time right now, and if you let Reciprocity too far out of reach, there's no way you're going to get it back, because especially on Clubhouse like we saw yesterday, they're an extremely dominant team. You're inside the lion's den right now. You got to figure a way out, and if you can take any time to separate, have discussion, and then go back into it, you need to take it early.
So we'll see what exactly TSM are going to be able to work for themselves once we get back into the game and on to the next round. But Rec are feeling confident about themselves right now. 2 rounds going into their favor on basement attacks on Clubhouse. If they manage to make it 3 on this next round, as a quick note, it does appear as though TSM is switching finally to CCTV and Cash. If they make it 3 on this next round, that's where, as you were just mentioning, it's getting really dangerous. It's very, very hard to fight back from an attacker-led opening half on Clubhouse.
Well, we've seen it before. We'll see if it happens again. The only question I really have for myself right now is, do those shooting sleeves really work? Because a lot of these players are wearing the shooting sleeves on their right arm.
So the one thing I could say for it is,
it's obviously better blood flow. I know that.
Yeah. So compression works. But I think the other thing with it too is friction, now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, so your wrist and everything can't grab on your mouse pad.
I would think there'd be way less friction with that on a mouse pad. So, and I think that might actually be the main reason why people...
They're kind of the same material as well on the tops. Like, you have a very slick material for your cloth mouse pads, and obviously you have that. So I don't think there'd be anything, biting in between.
No, I think it would be pretty smooth. So I think that's the main reason why. But I've never used one, so your guess is as good as mine.
I have to get you a Gucci shooting sleeve.
Gucci.
We have to stay with the trend, guys. Gucci blue, Gucci shooting sleeve.
Yeah, we'll work on that. Got a fact coming in from our friends at Siege GG. Vertical and Laxing are leading the way for Reciprocity currently with a combined 25-8 scoreline.
Oh my God.
This includes their current opening duel record of 5-1.
Well, if you guys thought that the Skies Lax duo was scary, boy, do I have some news for you. The Vert Lax duo is something you don't want to play against. So, with the way that things are going right now, I can tell you, if it does end up going Reciprocity's way, I am so very excited to watch them play SSG tomorrow.
At the moment, it's looking like that may be the likely scenario that we get, but still quite a few more rounds to go before we have that decision made, and we could just as likely end up on a 3rd and final map instead. We're all going to be open incredibly early in the round. Only took them about 50 seconds to get it open, and this now gives them quite a bit of utility and time, more importantly, to play with on the execute.
It's going to be the right-hand panel. It's not the best one because you want to try and make a straight dash for the default plant spot, which is right next to the server center that's in the center of CCTV and the B bomb. It's tucked right inside that corner.
It also has a hop on it too, so that's going to be a bit tricky to work past as well.
Yeah, a little difficult because you have to go through that full animation. It also locks to where you can't look behind you. You can only look 90 degrees to your left and 90 degrees to your right. So, still plenty of pressure near site. Achieve's playing construction. Gio's on a deep roam right now. He's all the way downstairs as he starts to work his way up main. Reciprocity and the rest of the squad start to fight Merc, but no, it's going to be Achieved from in construction to shut down Nyx. Merc even still thought he was there. Achieved again with the double. fighting fire with fire. He was the first pick 2 rounds in a row, but now TSM coming to life.
This is the TSM that we were seeing play yesterday against EG. Much more methodical play, and more importantly, not losing these players early on in the round, catching Reciprocity at their own game and tripping them up here. Another player from Rec gonna get dropped. That's Foxay down to Timsy. And now Laxing is left alone in a 1v5 with sub 1 minute on the clock.
This is very representative of how TSM felt in the last game. Just kind of run around outside, hope you can finally get somewhere to get some frags, but instead, this is something that Reciprocity does very often. It's a makeshift timeout. Plenty of time left on the board, 30 seconds. Laxy's just going to hightail it back to spawn, sit there, and they're going to talk things out. They can't talk with their coach, but they can talk amongst themselves, and that's really all you need. You need to get things teed up for the next round. You more than likely know which site they're going to be going to because they just won the site that they were currently on, so they're only going to have 2 remaining sites for that site triangle that we always talk about.
In other terms, we have ourselves a bit of an existence pause here if you come from another game. We've seen this happen actually more and more often. This is like the 2nd or 3rd tournament recently that I've seen someone do this. So I've started to see doing these pauses become more often when attacking teams get put into basically unwinnable round situations.
Yeah, when the win percentage is literally less than 1%.
It's not even worth it. It's better to like, okay, let's do an immediate review of what just went wrong and fix it, basically, before we forget anything.
Exactly. Well, TSM teeing up Church for the next defensive round. Going to be the same setup as well. Achieve not going to be on the Jaeger this time, though. He's going to be on the Mozzie. Merc shifts over to the Jaeger. Timsy's still going to be on the Smoke. Bolo and Geo in their 2 regular places.
Now we are going back to basement, which is probably really good news for Reciprocity, as they've been winning these rounds back-to-back now. This will be the 3rd win on basement if they are able to get it again. But at the same time, I'm sure TSM is going to have a lot more confidence coming off that last duel. It seems they finally figured out what they need to do as well here. And it's, to be completely honest, don't take risks on early fights against Reciprocity. They held back, they took their strengths and played into the site, with the one very glaring exception to that being Merc, who had such a strong position and caught that 3-man push in from the balcony over on the bedroom side.
I still think it was quite comical that Merc couldn't even believe that Nyx was dead. He peeked, he's like, oh, he's right. Oh, Achieve killed him. All right, well then.
So yeah, Merc and Achieve getting some work done over there, but besides that, much more restrained play from them. So I'm curious to see if TSM is going to continue that.
Attack objectives to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Well, we're hoping for a close one here, folks, but after that last round, a little shine of hope for the TSM fans out there. Reciprocity is still looking very dominant, though. One round does not prove that they can't just clean sweep the rest of the rounds away from TSM. Reciprocity, last time they played at the Clubhouse, just to update you guys if you didn't watch yesterday, beat LG 7-3 on this map. And LG is a team that loves those gunfights. So if that tells you anything, is that TSM is still in for a very long road ahead of them. Drone play still coming in for Reciprocity, and they're going to need this information game to work out so very well, because TSM is definitely high off of that roam game right now.
Reciprocity, Hardy moving in to take some small amounts of control. Again, make good progress with the timer. Timing necessarily hasn't been a huge issue so much yet for Reciprocity here. Even in that last round when it was brought down to Lax, and they still had a good minute and 15 seconds left on the clock, so that's not really a problem they've been working with. So they're fine to continue running it down and trying to play this out for, well, pretty much the entire round, should that be necessary.
Achieved inside of Cash. Waiting for Nyx to make a move, but he's going to get a drone in front of him first, so he has that information. Achieved already falling off, as you guys saw the blue silhouette slip through the hatch inside of construction down to the stage next to Bar. Clean out the rest, Nyx is more than likely going to know, hey, drop down the hatch, have to work things through. They have all the top pressure now, but as you guys can see, TSM is wasting quite a bit of time on that timer. This is something that Reciprocity hasn't had to deal with just yet. We'll see what they do when it gets down to crunch time.
Yeah, once again, smart decisions being made by TSM. They know that although, yeah, I still have this angle for myself from a defensive position, they know exactly where I am, and there's 2 of them, so if they push me, I'm going to be a dead man, as I have been the last 2 times we tried to play this site. Instead of sitting here and dying, let me just fall back. I've already wasted time. Now I can stay alive and actually win in in the late round. That's the change up that TSM has made, and it could make the difference to finally net them a win here.
The issue is now for TSM, though, is that since they went for this roam strat, they use reinforcements that they regularly use on the hatches other places. So those are going to get immediately opened by soft destruction or the blowtorch of Fox. And now they have all this pressure, but the timer is definitely not going to be on their side anymore. It's a 5v5 with under a minute left, and this is where things tend to get crazy. Reciprocity downstairs inside of Moto already as they're trying to pressure out Church. Nitro still sails over and it confirms onto Vertical. Fox A to fall as well as the rest of the squad's working their way down blue. But they're going to continue to more than likely run into obstacles. Retro pre-fires, can't find too much. Finally gets taken down by Bolo. Nyx all alone inside of blue, gets two. A couple of nice shots, but finally gets confirmed from Bolo. Laxing trades it out, goes down into the 2v1, and this is absolutely winnable. This man has been an absolute monster in the past, and it needs to happen once again. The diffuser's all the way in Narnia, though. He has to win it out off of gunfights, win it out against Achieved, but Timsy not even gonna peek, plays the timer, plays smart, and begs TSM a defensive round.
Once again, what's the decision from TSM at the end of the round? Hey guys, let's not take this fight. Let's play to our position, play on defense, and play on the timer. That will give TSM a second round in a row now. Living by that philosophy, now they've tied it up, so TSM seems to have figured something out here. Now it's just about sealing the deal, at least for this half, and trying to go for 4-2.
When it came down to it, is the sloppy execution from Reciprocity. They didn't really lean on their utility. Whether they burned it early, you really couldn't tell because there was just a lot of pre-fires coming through upstairs. They got the wall open for CCTV for the roam clear, but that was really about it, and they didn't need too much utility otherwise to break the hatches. I mean, it's just soft destruction. You can either torch them open, it's only a couple of seconds with that, or use a breaching charge or a lifeline or what have you. Once they got down to site, though, they tried to go for a split take into Moto from main stairs or inside of blue. Once the Moto take got snuffed out, all sites just locked onto blue, and once you're locked inside of that box, it's very hard to fight out. Nyx got pretty deep inside of the Arsenal area, but then eventually got shut down. Laxing retrades, and then, well, you guys saw what happened with the rest of that. TSM with a nice little run of the timer, wins it out in the 1 versus 1.
Yeah, Nyx right there, when we just saw the Reciprocity cameras actually for a second seemed pretty animated about something. I don't know if it was anger or just trying to explain something really quickly here in between the rounds, but didn't look happy.
It's one of those things where you're like, peek me.
Yeah.
Just peek me, please.
To locate a bomb and defuse it.
But no, this is competitive. We go for rounds, we don't go for kills. It's the way the cookie crumbles. Well, gonna shift things up now. TSM don't have a smoke anymore. It's gonna be Tim on the TCS G12 of Kaid. An operator we don't see that often, but still prominent enough that a lot of people know what he's about. But if you don't, he's got electro claws that he's able to throw that work as bandit batteries. They electrify reinforcements. You can be pretty creative with them, actually. They have a radius instead of having to be directly attached to the piece of metal, so they're pretty unique in that aspect.
Retro here currently trying to track down Bolo on the Vigil. No luck in finding him here at this point in time. So they're trying to watch for runouts as they try to find access to cache and CCTV to begin their push. Laxing taking a sniping position to try and find anyone who might rotate on the main stairs, but it's Bolo that starts us off. Seems as though they never really locked down his position on the drone, and Vert is going to be the first target taken out here on Rec as a result of that.
That reaction time still scares me to this day. You show a pixel and Bolo just removes your head for you. It's pretty incredible what he is able to achieve with that. Nyx rotates over to Strip Club now. Strip clear. Do have one sitting inside of stalls. Laxing's worked his way over as well. Retro upstairs, and I believe Jacuzzi balcony as the wall gets blown up. Yep, he's going to blow up the left-hand side panel. Bolo gets taken down inside of stalls. So a pretty equal trade thus far, but both of the top fraggers for both of these teams respectively removed.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Retro still trying to find the intel and what the setup is set up to be at this point. Only really can see 1 to 2 players on the inside of the actual site, though. Everything else still far too obscured for him. Laxing will make a move upstairs onto the roof, and I believe to get into position by the site windows in just a couple seconds, possibly along with Foxy. Oh, you still have a Legion sitting on the inside of the previous round site as well here towards Cash. And Laxing, he will take out Merc, who was that player. Merc at the same time managed to get his impact off just before going down. And with that, finds a trade.
They say you got to catch them all. And he definitely did that, but he died for it.
On himself, too, unfortunately.
Congratulations, you played yourself. Nyx works his way up red stairs now through a little bit of barbed wire. Some ADSs still remain. Also going to take a little bit of damage from, I believe, an electrical wall. Timsy holding up inside a bathroom. It's a man you want to stay alive. That TCS G12 rips. It is so much damage. And also, no, it is not a DMR. It is a slug shotgun. 2 shots to anybody in the chest will more than likely kill them.
15 seconds to go.
Time, as you can see here, has started to run low for Rec. They do have positioning on the inside of Jim to go for a plant, and better yet, Nyx has a cutoff. That doesn't mean it's safe, though. Geo is going to be able to finish him. Plant does get confirmed onto the ground, though, and that's dangerous for TSM. If Reciprocity can get back outside in a good position, it's going to be very, very difficult to properly counter-defuse this diffuser. Time gonna get lower and lower, already a quarter of the way through the timer. Rec having 2 players, and Timsy walking right past Lex and gets a fast double kill. Shuts down the retake before it even starts and gives Reciprocity yet another round, and most importantly, the lead at 3-2.
That's one man that you do not want to get excited, because Laxing feeds off of that energy and he becomes a monster that is almost impossible to deal with. Reciprocity up once again 3-2, and that's going to mean that the best TSM can possibly do is have an equal split.
They'll go to CCTV and Cash for their final duel here, at least on these sides versus Rec.
That round actually ended very, very weird, if you really think about it. Reciprocity had a lot of endeavors going on across the map, but eventually Retro just works his way into sight and waits and puts the diffuser down while people are still alive. Timsy's still up inside a bathroom, and we still have one other TSM member playing near main stairs. Diffuser goes down, nobody really has a discussion about it, and after that, Reciprocity's already set up her post plan. Rotate Retro over towards the gym window, and Laxing stay on Jacuzzi. A quick 1-2, Reciprocity walks away with the round, but it was still just a very weird round for them overall, because they went for the side clear through construction, then shifted all of their sights to Jacuzzi after losing quite a few people with that bottom clear as well as that cash.
And it seemed like we didn't necessarily have an appropriate amount of defense on the wall leading out to Jacuzzi balcony either, just because of the fact that they got site control so easily and were able to start that plan at the end of the round. It's still very weird, like you mentioned, it's very weird how they were able to get to that point despite all the troubles they had in the round up at that point, besides getting that wall open relatively early.
Well, breaking into round 6 now, folks. TSM, Team Reciprocity. It's been pretty incredible so far. Reciprocity, if you guys are just joining us, won out on Bank, which was TSM's map pick, and they did it in pretty handed fashion. 7-2, which is not something I believe any of us expected, even though Reciprocity said that they were ready for the map. I still thought that we might go to max inside of regulation. Maybe TSM has something up the sleeve, but oh no, 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 no. It was all Reciprocity all the way, as they were the one with the mixed bag.
Nick's going to make a bit more noise here as he works his way to the inside of the construction site tunnel leading down to the basement. Fox, in the meantime, did take a bit of shock damage right there, but nothing really to remark on as he tries to get open the balcony wall once more.
Changing mag.
Very interesting to see Reciprocity play so methodical. I'm just so used to them forcing absolutely everything onto site. They're taking their time, working the drones, but especially how early on TSM has been getting aggro. We have to respect it. Merc, what is that reaction time? My God, Nyx. And another Merc on the pre-fire. That's Diffuser as well. Oh my. That 3-headed snake showing itself once again.
Just recoiling himself into a kill. As for some reason,
Attackers have
the
recovered
unfortunate
their
player
diffuser.
from Reciprocity just doesn't see that happening and becomes the unfortunate victim of it. Foxay hoping for a trade in that window, but not to be found, so has to try and take it somewhere else. Curious if Merc has caught the play from Foxay. Foxay is definitely wary of it, but Vert instead, just a pixel of Merc's head showing, but that's enough, as Vert is going to be able to take him out finally.
That's the insane thing about these two teams, is they all have players that if you show just a hair wrong, you die. Laxing now working himself into construction right off of site. Need to be aware of this. Geo more than likely is going to have a goo mine on this door, so they should be able to get that information pretty early on here before he has too much pressure inside of sight. Geo's rotated all the way downstairs though. It's inside of blue. Smoke holding Overwatch towards blue stairs. For the Vert as well downstairs near Lounge. He works his way up. Toxic Babe coming in. Laxing gets one. Vert's worked his all the way up the staircase. Laxing takes down Bolo. Now it's down to a 2 versus 2, but Laxing has been down. Timsy gets one. It's all down to Vert, but do they know where he is? They have to hear this Gumine being pulled out. Loud and proud as he goes through that animation. Pops the wall, connecting to CCTV, but Gio's already rotated back downstairs. Only 6 seconds as Timsy rotates in. Does he see him? Pops a couple shots, but playing it safe. Play that time. 0-0 hits, and TSM splits on rounds for the defensive half.
2 out of 3 of those wins on the timer with, I believe, 1 shutdown happening in cache and CCTV. So good stuff from TSM to fight it back, but ultimately not a good half for them when you consider 3 attacking rounds were won by Reciprocity, which for Clubhouse is a lot. Now, assuming things go smoothly for them on the defense, they should be able to take a lead here and start out with an advantage on this half, but that also is pending on what TSM brings to the table. They've been getting more and more confident, in addition to smarter, as this map has been going on.
Yeah, hats off to TSM, really, because they've been able to adjust and keep this within grasp. They've already passed up, well, actually, no, excuse me, they're tied with the rounds that LG got yesterday, but now Reciprocity shifting over to the defensive side. Obviously, the dominant side on Clubhouse. So if TSM is actually able to make a stance on their offense, we could be going into overtime.
Very, very possible. Setup from Rec, again, should be pretty straightforward. I'm not imagining anything crazy coming out from them. A similar operator lineup as well to their opponent. We are going to see a few change-ups, though, most notably, I think, a Mozzie coming into play for these guys. And I think that's a Castle as well.
Yes, it is a Castle.
Yeah, we do have a Castle on the right. I was just looking for his...
You don't know Wave Check Castle?
Well, I was trying to go off the top UI.
We better know Wave Check Castle.
I actually just realized I probably could have looked at these side monitors a lot more easily.
5 seconds left.
Yeah, you probably could have.
You guys at home can't see this.
Need some wave checks up in the chat, guys. Gotta make sure to get those in there for our good friend Belly. Need his skin in the game soon.
We're working on it.
we have the best of the best at Ubisoft working on it.
In fact, actually, I said 2 out of 3 rounds earlier, just to correct myself. All 3 of TSM's rounds right now have been won just on running out of time. So they haven't won a round through actual fragging power yet.
Who needs fragging power when you can just let the timer at 0? Oh, Merc. Uh-oh. Lots of damage dealt to him, and by lots of damage, I mean he's down.
He's gonna call Timsy over. Hey, help me out here real quick.
Hey, so I kind of got shot, and if you could be a doll and put a claymore here and make sure I don't die. Oh, he's got stun grenades, actually. Gonna throw one in just to mask the sound of him picking up Merc for just a second, and hightails it away so Merc can put a claymore down. Bad news is now, though, one of your best gunfighters on the whole team only has 20 HP.
Good news, you still have your Thatcher as well for the utility coming with that. So
silver linings.
A lot to be used, however, for Merc, despite the low HP. A lot of presence here to try and clear out Laxing as he's reinforced himself to the inside of Cash Room and is looking to delay for as long as possible. He's not the only one playing this game. Foxe hiding behind the invulnerable mattress inside of the master bedroom as well.
Well, plenty of pressure inside of construction from Reciprocity, but Nyx all the way downstairs finally finds Merc. That was the man that was lit up earlier that we were talking about. Bolo, quite a bit of damage dealt to him as well, but nothing fatal just yet. TSM slow and methodical, just like we saw them on Bank, but they're having to deal with the Mute Mozzie combo. Throw a Vigil in there just for good measure, and that makes for a pretty damn good team comp. Wasting a lot of time right now is TSM. Laxing, lying in wait inside of construction with open arms, gets it, Sheev looking for 2, and he does. He gets Timsy. He's holding the flank watch. That's Diffuser, and he does it again. Bolo Lax with the triple. He might not have the highest headshot rating in the game, but I'm telling you what, this man's got what it takes to win out these gunfights.
Not much of a hope now for Gio. In case you missed it, Diffuser got down in the process of that and is now owned by Reciprocity. Gio's got to go back and ask for it. There's 5 very mean gentlemen that I don't think are going to be too keen on handing it over. So you know what, TSM, I think that they're going to go for the mid-round pause as well here. Just have Gio sit in a corner, same corner he actually tried to pull off a flank on back on the last half, a bit irrelevant, but thought it was an interesting note. And yeah, just like we saw one round from Reciprocity in the last half, we're going to see TSM do the same thing. Just wait out these last 30 to 40 seconds and use it as time to talk and see what went wrong here.
And this is the danger of that Mute Mozzie combo. It does a huge amount of damage to your drone economy. You can't get the information.
Can we go to Nyx real quick?
15 seconds to go.
Let me take a look at Nyx's, no, his first person perspective.
10 seconds remaining.
Smiley face. Nick's happy about it.
5 seconds left.
Why not?
Gotta love the clap.
Hey, you got the round, so. And there it is. Reciprocity claim round number 7, inching closer and closer to that big W here for the Western Conference Championship and the spot in the USN Championship tomorrow.
So, as we were saying, drone economy, that's a thing. And when you lose a lot of those droney things with cameras on them that make it to where you don't get shot, you don't have to face check everything, you tend to miss drone things and not have the information of where your opponent is. And that's very, very difficult when you're on the offense. The defense just gets to lie and wait. And when you don't check your corners, things like this happen. Relaxing triple kills your entire team in a matter of 10 seconds, and a round is, well, basically completely one-sided, all because of a little bit of information.
And so with Reciprocity in leading contention here now, after a successful basement defense, they will switch up towards the upstairs sites. I believe Cash and CCTV should be their starting point here, and indeed it shall. Once again, defense being put up by them. Operators, pretty standard considering the fact that we've got Echo in play. Laxing's going to be jumping on that, and we'll set up those yokai drones. As for the attack, they actually did not bring an IQ to the table here, so it's going to be a bit harder to knock out those yokai drones, especially if for whatever reason TSM find themselves delayed and have to execute, as you often do on this site, in a very low time situation where you may not have the time to check for these types of things.
10 seconds to insertion.
Extended hold being set up from Team Reciprocity, as you guys can see in the center of your screen. Foxay setting up a reinforcement as well as rotation for weights, just so they can move a little bit faster. Reinforcing that right panel so that they don't have that long of a line of sight. And actually, if you guys can see, there is a myriad of separate holes set up all the way from red stairs to watch, I believe, the weights window, if you can get that angle. It's either there or set up for cash. You can play it off of the bomb chassis. Nevertheless, that's what it's used for. They're trying to see all the way over into weights just to make sure that they can have a supportive angle for whoever is playing on that end of the map.
So we've got achieved. He's going to work his way up here first. You can already hear those screams from Gio as he's doing a little bit of work there on the wall already from the Mavericks POV.
Nothing like being electrocuted for your job, you know? It's a fun time.
You know, no risk, no reward, you know?
That is true. That is true. So the man with the blowtorch begins his work. Achieve, going to rappel up just to hold the angles at the bottom once they're opened up. Gio works his way down, starts torching. Now what this does is it actually makes it to where the reinforcement hangs in the air. And since it is hanging in the air, the system believes that it's not actually there.
I will say, worth it in this circumstance.
I mean, yeah, because they still have Tim and Merc, but you hate to see it.
Yeah.
You really do.
I really hate to see
Bomb
them.
located by attackers.
All right.
I'm more curious if that was an intentional bait by TSM or not.
No,
because I don't think it was.
Because Vert was like, how did he shoot me? That's literally what his face was like. Like, how did I die here? Well, Timsy going to go for the upside down rappel to get this wall open. And obviously it's not going to be bandit strength. They don't have any Kaids. So this is just going to be all hands on deck to separate parts of the site. Because now, effectively, CCTV is no man's land.
Yep, CCTV has got itself a nice new big window to play with, and that's going to make TSM very happy if they're able to get inside of it. About a minute left here, however, and still even. Never mind. Foxay picks up the next frag on a Nitro Cell to knock out Bolo. That's going to be him and a couple of the other members of Reciprocity. Again, starting to retreat, go back to the site, and just wait this timer out. Wait for the execute to come in from TSM. As we see that thrown through the hatch to take out the push inside of construction.
And this is the danger of Reciprocity. They rotate so much. It's so insane. Foxy's been off site 2 to 3 times, all inside of this same round. Finally coming back, gets concussed by a Zofia. Merc claims one, that's Laxing, knocks it down to equal. Smoke grenades now pouring in, but he's not going to have enough to stave off the rest of this round. Still 25 seconds remain. Fox goes for a wild jump and immediately gets crushed by Merc. All of a sudden, TSM takes the lead. Timsy and Merc inside of construction, achieved on the other end of the map. Timsy down. That's going to be the diffuser as well. Achieve worked his way in. Nick's the last remaining member. He's been concussed. They know where he is. Merc with a nice headshot, and TSM still fighting fire with fire.
TSM doing good work. They know that Reciprocity had, at the end of the round, kind of locked themselves into a corner slightly due to all the soft presence still in areas like construction, along with, if you go out towards the catwalk and garage, that as well. So despite the fact the wall never actually got fully opened for the attackers to access, they had enough angles to play with to isolate out the members of Reciprocity one by one and take control of a fourth round. 1-1 so far for this half on both team sides. Now we got to see who can take the lead once again. Overtime is looking very likely. This game remains in a kind of seesaw fashion, back and forth.
Name something more like Clubhouse. Oh wait, because I don't think that there truly is. This is the most seesaw map in the entire game. It's just 1 to 1 to 1 to 1. Only real time that we saw anything was when Reciprocity ran up 2 rounds on TSM off rip, and then TSM immediately started battling back. More than likely, understanding how Reciprocity wanted to handle those offenses from that point on, but already switched over to the defensive side now. 4-4. As we continue to really run down to an overtime here, I'm really feeling it at this point in time. TSM has already passed up the amount of rounds that LG got on Reciprocity. Reciprocity won this map yesterday in 7-3 fashion, currently sitting at 4-4, so a lot closer showing between these two.
Much closer match on this second map overall. As a quick reminder, folks, if TSM is able to pull out the win here on this second map, our third and final map of the day will be Villa to decide which team takes the Western Conference Championship and moves on to the overall USN final tomorrow. TSM going to be moving themselves up onto the top of the east balcony here first. Again, wall's the priority, just get that open first. As it, again, in case you missed that, Reciprocity are also re-attempting the same site. As far as their positions are concerned here, they've got 2 players hanging out over towards Catwalk right now. And we also have a few more still on roam duty, just as they did in the last round. I imagine it would be anywhere near as aggressive as what we saw last round, however.
Oh, Gio working off of the pings to make sure that everything is in ship shape before he goes for the top of the wall, because it's going to be a lot more difficult to try and get the bottom once he started at the top. But as it is confirmed from his teammate, he will die to Nyx. Immediately jumps back into garage after they've killed the Maverick, and this time around, Vertical's still alive, so this is going to be a lot more difficult for TSM to get the wall open. They do still have the ability to, though, with the likes of Merc and Timsy still alive. Timsy has a diffuser as well. Minute and 40 seconds left. TSM needs to devise a plan that excludes Geo. Obviously, he can run some things off drones or to help them out just a little bit and make some calls, but the more they lose inside of this drone economy, the harder it gets. Foxay's already bagged 2 drones this round.
And he's going to be able to move them away too, which means they're not going to get immediately kind of just taken out here, which I'm sure the Mozzie's fine with. Nyx as well finds an opening, is able to swing out from the garage door, taking out Timsy. Foxay striking with that nitro cell yet again, also taking out Bolo. Just Mark and Achieve left in this fight now.
Well, need a couple of entry frags to start this off, and Reciprocity's had all of those, so TSM now has to try and battle back. Chief starting off inside of stock, works his way through lounge, appears inside of garage, but can't find too much just yet. Well, definitely gonna make his presence known as he pops open the floor of cash. Reciprocity and the rest of the squad lie in wait upstairs. We have 3 people currently occupying garage. Retro, technically speaking, the only one on site. He's playing at the top of the red stairs, Laxing inside of blue. Another concussion pours in, so they know where Lax is now. A quick move from Achieve, but more than likely going to get red out. No, it's not. The bullets come through. Laxing still doesn't even hear him as they ting off the metal behind him. This is going to be the first kill that they need to try and make this happen. Foxay, though, finally takes down Achieve. Been alive just a little bit too long for their liking, and Nyx to drill it home as Reciprocity takes round 9 in the lead once again.
Just a small lead for the time being, though, of only 1 round. It's time to see if they can grow it, if they want to look for a shutdown here and take that 2-0 victory. For TSM, it's now time to wake up. You've got to keep trading these out to take this to OT, or finally find a way to get these wins consistently and get yourself back into the game with the lead under your control. Basement has been unlocked for use again by Rec, so they're going back to it. Last time they were on this, they won it, opening up that proposition for a 4-6.
Main issue for TSM right now on this offensive front is they're not prioritizing Garage on that CCTV take, and it's really punishing them. It's giving a safe harbor for those players inside of CCTV that are trying to get pressure onto Gio when he's torching the wall. That's 2 times in a row that he's died. Granted, first time was his teammate, but the second follow-up was Nyx, who immediately got to hop into Garage for free. I really feel like they need to shift their sights over to worrying about Garage first and then taking the wall.
Give run out positions a couple of times over to them as well, just like we saw from Nyx later on in the last round. To be fair, that was pretty late that he does that, but still, it's not the only time we've seen at least attempts at that happen. Reciprocity has known that they can get away with quite a bit from that garage door throughout the course of this map.
Reciprocity has practically been getting away with murder on a lot of these moves.
Quite a bit. That extends, I mean, even to the last map as well. We had a lot of similar stuff happening where Rec was just rotating into players from TSM that weren't even looking at them.
Yeah, for instance, like the Vert 3K to start us off, just no one assumed that he would continuously peek, and they're like, oh, we're just going to throw a stunt, I'm dead because I don't have my gun up. Keep your gun up, guys. Reciprocity will peek you. Siege is a game where these types of flanks and cutoffs can literally end a round in just a few seconds, and we've already seen that the play you just described is literally that. So you got to have someone watching those flanks. You got to have someone covering everything. Otherwise, someone on the enemy team can get away with plays like that. Yeah, Reciprocity has made it kind of their namesake that they don't play passive at any instance. You know, if there's a gunfight there and they think they can win it, it's definitely going to be taken. And so far, they're proving themselves right because there hasn't been an instance where TSM just completely shut them down. There was really only one round that I can draw back from memory right now where Team Reciprocity overcompensated. It was that second round on Bank where they had that extended roam and Laxing was inside of Electrical Room for some reason.
Was a weird one that we ended up having happening. Gio as well had that strange round for himself on this map where he ended up getting caught on the inside of Kitchen. Still managed to go 1-for-1 on it, to be fair. We've had a couple interesting plays from roamers in general on both teams this match, but it's been fun to watch for certain. Gio is going to be popping open hatches. He'll take the safe burn here across the middle bar. No one can shoot him past that. Not that you would necessarily expect a lot of fire back to come in from this hatch, but still has to be safe anyway.
TSM slow and steady. See a Yokai drone, as you were just saying. Gonna remove that from Laxing's arsenal. Now down to just one, and we don't have Bolo on IQ, so everyone's gonna have to keep an eye up for that. Vertical though, Team Reciprocity playing the Pulse, and the operator we don't see too much of anymore, but he's still pretty prominent with certain teams. Reciprocity rocking him just because of how much information you can get on this site, in particular with them. When there's a lot of floors above you, you can track almost every single one, as we see Fert doing right now inside of Church. Foxay actually taking a massive amount of damage right there. And it's going to go down to just about 20 HP or so. The scan coming in once again from their Pulse here. They've got a good amount of intel as to what's on the other side of that wall. The Pulse isn't having the easiest time of doing it, though. Getting a lot of utility thrown at him, from stun grenades to gas canisters. Now finally the wall itself getting blown open. Vert takes out the drone first, but Merc is going to get the first actual kill here on the execute itself. Merc with a second as well. Right now he's opening up the door for his team, but Laxing just traded him. Someone else needs to step up to the plate, and it's not happening. They're trying to get this revive off. They're not covering their teammate. Nyx with 2 for himself, but she moves in for the trade, but Nyx now finds number 3 on just this round. Looking for 4 in a second. He can see him through the wall, and there we go. 6-4 Reciprocity. One more away from the USN Finals. Well, after we let that one sit there and simmer for a bit, we'll tell you what happened. TSM, very rough take. They got the wall open, and they also had the information that Laxing was playing very close. They definitely should have seen the shield that was placed there, as well as it's kind of become a regular thing when you know that they're going to go for the church wall. You set that up so you can play off of it, because the mini bar is not bulletproof. Bullets can fly through that wood, so you want something there as kind of your center point in order to play close with a shotgun or that SMG-11, and Nyx makes magic happen, man. Whereas you could have had Timsy try and swing in and try and deal with the situation, they go for the safe bet and go for the pickup, which, as we know, Reciprocity loves to do. Wants that to happen, and he immediately capitalizes on it. Gets 2 kills, 4 total on the round for Nyx, and a fantastic showing of Reciprocity's backbone. That's why that really showcases the power of those new deployables as well. Those new deployables
deployable shields.
Design, yeah.
Yeah, because they do have a small, almost basically like a mirror window installed within them. Yeah. And as a result of that, we saw at least on that last kill, and I would imagine with at least one or two others, he's able to get great intel on the exact position of his enemy before he even peeks. So quite a bit of power going over towards, especially shotgun players when they play behind those now.
Now all it takes is one quick peek, and the M590 will definitely do the damage inside of that range. Well, Reciprocity only needs one more round, folks, to make it to the finals tomorrow and send TSM packing. So far, it's been a pretty good show. And honestly, TSM is not looking too bad for how well Reciprocity played on this map yesterday. It's actually a lot closer than I assume a lot of people thought it was going to be.
Bolo moving in. He is going to lose the drone. Should be able to shoot it before it goes anywhere, though. So just will conclude itself to be the equivalent of a lost drone there.
It's been such a big thing for Reciprocity throughout this entire game. They're so damn good at destroying the drone economy of the offense. TSM hasn't had too much luck in that. Geo's actually down from somewhere. I'm going to assume it was a window or what. Oh, no.
He dropped?
He might have fallen off the side of the AC unit, because that is high enough to down you. I've done that.
Oh.
Yeah. Definitely could have happened. Yep.
Well, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like a window's popped or anything. I was going to say maybe he just took a fight and that was like a reset, but...
I was assuming Vert shot him. That was really what I was assuming, but... No, apparently not. Rest of TSM, though.
That's a big mistake to make on a round like this.
Yeah, very large. Now 20 HP. Has to take extremely safe gunfights, because if one bullet hits him, he's dead.
Hopefully it doesn't come back to bite him, but we'll see. Timsy in with the rest of the team here, checking out the drones really quickly, and I'm sure making call-outs as well, as he's probably been assigned to that duty. Foxay going for the first of his rotates, and again, this is those mid-round calls that I was talking about from Reciprocity that's making them so scary to play against. Laxing just dropped from somewhere as well, and he's going to try to make a move too here soon.
Laxing rotating all the way to either stalls or strip club. Looking over on a secondary monitor here, he is just playing inside of the hallway, so a full roam here from Team Reciprocity late. This is something that they definitely excel inside of. Timsy in a long-distance gunfight. Wants to try and stay alive, though. He does still have that utility in hand as well as the diffuser. Don't want that guy dying too early on. Foxay with a deep rotate now all the way downstairs. Not a single soul will be home for him, so highway should be free travel. Next with a quick click of the head to Bolo, removes him from the round, and now Bolo has to sit and watch the rest of his team as they try and keep TSM's hopes and dreams alive. Geo's already got the wall open for Hookah. Laxing still waiting downstairs inside of stalls as the rest of the TSM squad finally gets this engine running. Nick sitting inside of logistics. His timer continues to tick down. Pre-fires coming through from both ends. Achieve finally capitalizing on something. It's on to Vert. Still have one Toxic Babe in the hole for Retro, but it's going to be a quick trade. Achieved to take one, Laxing to take the other, as we're still on equal footing. Nix is looking for yet another, but he can't bag it. They have to get this diffuser down as it continues to wind. Nix still inside of logistics, holding a good backbone onto the site. Oh no, they don't have the pressure. This has to go down somewhere. They're looking into ways, but where can it possibly go down? Timsy's going to start putting it down behind the bomb chassis. Achieve falls. They're trying to get aggressive. Do they know where he is, though? It doesn't seem like the hot mark is coming out onto Tim. He sticks it, and he gets it down. Retro to claim him. Timsy in a 1 versus 3. It's all on the sub, folks. Pop the Toby eye tracker up to see exactly what he's thinking. He flicks onto one. He's got two to find. Can he get the second? No. Playing it slow, waiting for someone to hop outside. Playing right outside of the waits window. That timer. Oh, the timer. He's trying to work it. He gets one, but he doesn't get the second. Can Laxing get back in time? It's so very close, folks. I believe he's going to get it, and that's gonna be it. Oh, he gives him the quick bag over and over just to add insult to injury. The sub just not making it out as it's a double peak from Reciprocity, and they're going to the finals.
Big congratulations to Reciprocity. They are your Western Conference 2019 USN champions and our second grand finalists for our USN Grand Final tomorrow. What an epic match that will be, and what an epic conclusion to the Western Conference we just had right here. Reciprocity, amazing performance both yesterday and today. They look absolutely unstoppable right now.
Well, overall, fantastic showing by both teams there, to be completely honest with you. Clubhouse, though, kind of a one-sided affair as Reciprocity overall just showing their prowess, even in post-plant on that site. Gets down to 1v3. Timsy's able to make it a 1v1, but when you have two people peeking you from separate angles, very hard to deal with that. It's all love, though. Even after a little bit of the crouch key check, it is all love.
Good sportsmen at the end of the day. Everybody shaking hands, lots of hugs as well. Good camaraderie between these guys. And in just a second here, we're going to get our winners down on stage. But wow, what a performance from the guys on Reciprocity. That's going to do it for us for today, guys. Let's send it back down to the stage with Jackie for an interview with our winners.
Hey guys! So I am with the fragging machine, otherwise known, I'm so sorry, otherwise known as Laxine. No, I am just cracking up because your performance was just off the chain. Our desk was just, they were laughing. They were just like, this is crazy. Can you talk to me a little bit about your mindset? They're just like, what's his secret?
Yeah, I don't know. LAN is kind of my environment, so it's just feeding off the crowd. I mean, the crowd's amazing. You guys hype me up, so that's a...
Really? They seem really quiet. I can't even hear them. I'm totally joking. They have been awesome and totally amping you guys up. I want to talk to you guys about some of your strategies. So Map 1, it just seems so unorthodox, but at times like controlled chaos. Was that just our interpretation, or do you agree with that?
No, so, I mean, TSM's a phenomenal team. If I could get a round of applause for those guys again coming out here.
You speak, they clap.
But going into scrims before this, we were practicing them a lot, and they were actually really good at bank. We tweaked a few things before coming into this after VOD reviewing earlier today, and we kind of took a lot of the control that we knew that we needed to get, positioning that we needed to get to just really make the map go in our favor.
Yeah, you guys somehow turn losing situations into winning ones. This team just has some unbelievable clutch factor. Again, what's the secret with you guys?
Honestly, before coming here, we had a lot of discipline issues that I figured maybe when it's a serious event, like, you know, those would tighten up. And sure enough, I mean, going to this event, a lot of those issues that we had, which were minor issues, but, you know, in this game, one small mistake can change everything. But yeah, no, we tightened up everything coming into this event. I mean, and then you look at the results of it. I mean, a 7-2 and then a 7-4. So, I mean, it's definitely paying off for us for sure.
Okay, so exceptional chemistry. Seems like you guys have the right mindset. Can you talk a little bit more about your strat with your opponent? Were you guys targeting Timsy? We know that this is kind of new for him.
We were actually targeting quite a few of them with the bans and then kind of working the bans in our favor that they use. It was nothing crazy. Like I said, all 5 of those guys are super crazy, phenomenal players, so it's hard to just target one because you still got 4 others to worry about. We just played our game, played what we knew that we needed to do, came out here, and like I said, 2-0, so I can't complain.
Okay, so TSM is behind us. SSG is ahead of us. What's the game plan for the finals? Are you feeling confident?
Yeah, we're feeling super confident, especially beating TSM, like I said. Again, they're a phenomenal team, so that gives us more confidence and everything to go into tomorrow and take on SSG. We're definitely going to do more VOD review, watch what they do, and then just kind of go from there and play our game.
And get a good night's sleep and not party in Vegas, right? Laxing, everybody! Give this man a round of applause. Do I even need to ask? Thank you so much, a great playing. You guys, he's unbelievable. I can't. I'm going to send it back to y'all.
Thank you so much, Jackie.